Well, hello! You're back! Like my new hair? Just kidding. My rehearsal. In the last video, we saw some of the elements that you will find on stage, plus some stage directions and the different type of stages that exist in the Western world. Now, on this video, we're going to go behind the stage. I hope you're just as excited as I am for the second leg of our tour. Today, we'll tour some of the backstage areas that make the magic of the theater possible. We'll visit the fly system, the catwalk, the control booth, the scene shop, the crossover, the dressing rooms, and the box office. We will also learn a little bit about theater etiquette and how you should behave in the theater. Now, as we say in the theater, places! Since we're already on stage, we'll begin with an element that is right next to the stage, the fly system. The fly system is located next to the wings. It's a rigging system that is composed of pulleys, counterweights, and blocks. For hundreds of years, it has allowed theater artists to move large set pieces and, yes, occasionally make actors fly. Just imagine watching a production of Peter Pan with nobody flying. It wouldn't be the same. And speaking of flying, our next stop on the tour, the catwalk, is pretty high up there. So if you're afraid of heights, I recommend holding on to something. Welcome to the catwalk. If you look down, you can see the stage. Told you we were going to be pretty high. The catwalk is an elevated platform where light and sound equipment are placed, and crew members can point to a specific spot where the director wants the audience to look. Another cool thing about the catwalk is that it's usually pretty close to the control booth, which is our next stop. Let's check it out. Behold the control booth! This is the area designated for the operation of technical equipment, such as the light and soundboard. It's super important because it's the control center for the entire play. Here is where the stage manager, along with the light and soundboard operators, make sure the show runs smoothly while speaking very quietly through headsets. Whenever you witness a light change or a sound cue happen on stage, they're all being directed from a team in this very room. It also happens to be the best seat in the house, in my personal opinion. Check it out. But besides lights and this amazing view, did you notice something about the stage? Correct. The stage is empty. There's no set yet. And in order to fix that, there's only one place to go. Want to guess what it is? The scene shop. This is one of my favorite places in the entire theater. The scene shop is where theater sets are made. Here is where carpenters, welders, painters, and other collaborators make our dream settings into a reality. Besides the hammers and the nails and the screwdrivers, there are two massive doors I want you to notice, which are placed right in front of each other. See this hallway in between them? That's called the crossover. The crossover is a backstage pathway for theater practitioners to transit without being seen by the audience. So if you ever wondered how actors move so fast from one side of the stage to the other, well, now you know. Now for our next section, I want it to be a surprise, so maybe close your eyes. Or you know what? Let's do something more dramatic. After all, this is the theater. Lights out! Surprise! For those of you who have never seen one of these, welcome to the dressing rooms. The dressing room is a space for actors to put on their makeup and change into their costumes before a performance. It's also a place to keep their personal belongings during a production. If an actor is doing a show for a while, like in Broadway or a regional theater, they have the option to completely customize their dressing room area to make it more comfortable and homey. After seeing all of these cool places, you probably want to check out a theater. I highly encourage you to experience a live theater performance. There's nothing like it. So, if you're going to a live theater performance, there's one place you will definitely have to get through, and that is the box office. Let's go check it out. The box office is where you go if you need to buy tickets for a production, or if you just have a question and need more information. Sometimes near the box office, there will be a concession stand where you can get snacks and merchandise from the theater, like posters, t-shirts, cool postcards, and more. All of the money from the box office and concession stand goes back into the theater. So if you have some money to spare, go get yourself a souvenir. You'll have a good memory and you'll be supporting the arts. So I got our tickets for the play. Yay! But before we go watch our play, there's a couple of guidelines we need to follow, which brings us to our final point in the agenda: theater etiquette. Theater etiquette are simple rules for audience members to follow when attending a play, so that we can all enjoy the show without disturbing anybody. They are similar to the rules that you must follow in any movie theater. Phones must be silenced or turned off. Audience members must be silent during the play, unless you're laughing at something funny happening on stage or unless the play has intentional audience interaction. And finally, and I know this one can be very tempting, but it is particularly important: photography, especially flash photography, is not allowed unless stated otherwise in the pre-show announcements. The reason for this is that it can be incredibly distracting for the actors, not to mention that it is pretty rude with your fellow audience members. Well, that concludes our theater tour. Wasn't that fun? I know I had a blast. Now, before we move on to our next lesson, let's review what we learned today. We first checked out the backstage areas, starting with the fly system, the catwalk, and the control booth. We then continued to explore the scene shop, crossover, and the dressing rooms. Finally, we went to the box office and learned about theater etiquette rules. If you enjoyed this tour as much as I did, stick around for the next lesson, where we will begin our Vibe video series adventure. Woo! And remember, in theater, like in life, the limit is your imagination.